Welcome to our third video of spine and head. In this particular video we're discussing acupressure and some self-massage techniques you can use if you're having some pain.
Self-massage for areas along the base of the skull and the spine can be a little complicated as some of the areas are hard to reach. The easiest thing for you to get to on your own is going to be your neck. You take your fingers and find the base of your skull and slide off it just a little bit. You can start applying some pressure and making some small circles all the way down your spine and to the tops of your shoulders. And if you find any areas of particular tension, you can hold it for a minute or add a little vibration just to loosen up some of those knots. When you move down from there, it becomes a little harder to reach around to work your own shoulders and lower. So what you can do is you can take a sock like this, or plainer, and a tennis ball, and stick the tennis ball inside the sock, work it down to the bottom, and from there you take the tennis ball and throw it over your shoulder while holding on to the edge of the sock. From here you can lean up against a wall and move the ball up and down, or yourself up and down, or both, to create a massage effect all the way along your spine. If you find you need a little extra pressure, try putting the ball on the floor or using a harder ball like a racquetball or a lacrosse ball. You should never feel any pain with any of the massage you do. A little discomfort is okay, but if you feel it's too much or anything is sharp and zingy, back off a little.
So when we get to the idea of acupressure for neck or back pain, the general principle that Nicole gave about finding a sore spot and holding it is very valuable and what we typically would like to do. However, if you find that every point is on fire, or if you can't find a particular location that's especially sensitive, there are a couple of other places that are good general spots to hit that we're going to go over today. So looking at the back of the neck here, we want to find the spot where the skull, if you trace down the center line of the skull, just as it falls into where the spine and the skull meet, there's a small divot here. As you go out to either side, you'll find the border of what's called the trapezius muscle, which attaches again to the base of the skull in a spot called the nuchal line. This was an area that Nicole was talking about when she talked about massaging from the spine out to the side. As you get around and fall off the border of the muscle, you'll fall in between the muscle that's the trapezius and the other one called the SCM, or sternocleidomastoid, which goes up the side of the neck here. Getting into this area can often be very helpful to relieve pressure on the suboccipitals and provides a great acupressure or acupuncture point for getting into this location. So here and in a little further towards the trapezius. As you go down a little further, you'll get to, as you trace the spine, you'll get to one spot where a vertebra protrudes a little bit. This is the top of your thoracic vertebra. Right above that, a little bit on either side, is a point that's excellent for stiff neck. The indications for this are for any kinds of neck rotation problems at the base of the neck. Also, asthmatic sufferers or allergy sufferers tend to benefit from massaging this place on a regular basis. From here you can go out a little further if your neck pain extends into the shoulder, or if you trace down and find the top corner of the shoulder blade and roll up just off the shoulder blade, there's another spot that tends also to be sore in cases where pain from the neck radiates down close to the mid-scapular region, the space between the shoulder blades here. This is often another great point to work on as well. I do also want to mention two other particular points that are useful for lower back issues. These are actually found on the hand and are common for acupuncturists to use when a person is suffering from low back pain. So before you locate these points, you need to know which hand to use. So if your back pain is on the left side, you'll be wanting to use points on the right hand, and vice versa. If the pain is equal on both sides, you can find which hand is more sensitive and use that. The points are found in the webbing between the first finger and the thumb. They are on the right off the bone of the first finger, right as the knuckle comes over here, is one, and then trace the bone down to where the long bones of the hand connect. Here is another. These 2 points are excellent for lower back pain on the opposite side of the body, but they have to be pressed often very strongly and massaged and worked around consistently in order to find good relief from a finger. Now, if you're finding that you have a spot that is particularly painful or particularly sore, if you are not able to get to it with a finger, this is usually an excellent indication to get a professional massage therapist to work in the area, or an acupuncturist as well. Thanks for watching our video on acupressure and self-massage techniques for the spine and skull. One last point we did want to mention is that for the areas in the hand that we talked about for acupressure, this is also a region of the body that's used by acupuncturists to induce labor. So for women who are pregnant, we advise that you avoid this particular region if you are dealing with back pain. While we don't expect finger pressure to cause any kinds of problems, for women who have a history of habitual miscarriage or difficulty with conception or pregnancy, it's just another factor to avoid. So we hope you join us for our 4th video set on spinal alignment and proper posture.